Hey guys, it's Scott Beebe, the Business on Purpose platform. Happy Thursday to everybody. And guess what? The same thing that got me out of bed on my favorite day of the week, Monday, is the same thing that got me out of bed today, and that's to liberate you, the small business owner, from your chaos. I wanted to share a question we just got from a great entrepreneur. And here was the question. Hey, I want to delegate. I know I need to delegate, but if I delegate and create all these processes that feel kind of like machines and even robots and that sort of thing, don't I become less personal, interactive, human, if you will? Don't I become a little less human and a little bit more robotic, a little bit more mechanistic? It feels more like a machine. And it totally logically makes sense that that would be the case, right? We build a process, pass off the process works. And so we tend to kind of look at those sorts of things and go, man, I don't want to be a machine. I want to be human. I want to have personal touch. I want to have interaction, inflection, those sorts of things. And so I want to give you an alternative perspective on this, though. This is really, really important. Number one, I've had 3 entrepreneurs in the last 7 months. One has had a heart attack, one has died, and one has gone into the hospital with chest pains. None of them are over the age of 48, and one of them is 36 years old. Am I saying that to freak you out? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. The reason I'm saying that is because the reality is we have no choice but to delegate. We have no choice but to systematize and to process out our business so that we can pass that off to other people. Rick, you probably understand this as well as anybody with the business that you guys are building right now. You've got to be able to take all of these things, these items that you're doing, be able to pass it off. The metaphor I use all the time, we've got a couple of guys that we work with that are pilots that are looking to transition. The metaphor that I say all the time is I've never gone on an airplane, and seen the pilot run out of the cockpit and go by hand and drop the landing gear, and go by hand and turn the motor, and go by hand and push the flaps down. Or walk up and down the aisle and go clean the toilets and serve the drinks. And I've never seen a pilot leave the cockpit to do that. The only thing I've ever seen a pilot do is sit in the cockpit, have a stick or a wheel or a computer in his hand, or his or her hand, and they've got buttons all around, and they push buttons and they monitor, push buttons and they monitor. Now, do you think pilots are lifeless and inhumane? No. No, they're very personable. A lot of them. Some of them may not be. But the reality is if you want to build a business that serves people, then you've got to build a business to where you have margin. The only way you have margin is by delegating. And here's the beauty of delegation. We tend to look at delegation as taking things we don't like and passing them off to other people. Delegation is not that. Delegation are taking things that suck the energy out of us, so inherently we may not like them, but they suck us dry of energy, and we, with proper training, with proper authority, hand that to somebody else with great follow-up and accountability and say, hey, I bet you would like to do this better than I would like to do this. You don't take what sucks you dry and give it to somebody else so it can suck them dry. You take what sucks you dry, empower somebody else that actually gives them energy. And I tell people all the time, you realize there are people in this world who actually love QuickBooks. Like they like data entry on databases and those sorts of, I don't like that stuff. But there are some people who get energy from doing data entry, from doing QuickBooks, from doing the things that don't give me energy. So does that mean I'm inhumane by delegating the things I don't enjoy to somebody who does enjoy them so that I can create margin and focus on the people? That's where delegation is incredibly personal. Because when you delegate, you actually free up more time to focus on people than if you didn't delegate at all. We all know people who are way too busy. They've got way too much going on. Shoot, I'm in that boat sometimes. And so I've got to step back and go, okay, what is it that I'm touching right now, that I'm doing right now, that I need to empower somebody else who would love to do this, and then offer them the process, the authority, and the proper follow-up through predictability to be able to do that. That's what healthy delegation looks like. Now, if you abdicate something to somebody else, yes, that's when you're going to be less personal. You're going to be less humane. You're going to be less thoughtful. But there's a difference between delegation and abdication. Abdication is just throwing something off and say, you do it. And then you get frustrated in 2 weeks when they don't do it like you did. Delegation is when you identify what it is that sucks you dry, but gives somebody else energy. Draw it out, document it, train them well, and then follow up through a healthy follow-up process to make sure that that's passed off so that your vision can go forward. I hope that helps. It was a great question this morning from a great entrepreneur on one of our group coaching calls. By the way, make sure to share this video. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who need to hear that about delegation. If you don't mind, just click the share button and share it with all your friends so they hear it. And then finally, we're doing a webinar here in a couple weeks, totally free. I think it's August 24th. It's on a Thursday, whatever day that is. If you go to mybusinessonpurpose.com/August webinar, that's mybusinessonpurpose.com/August webinar, and you can go ahead and sign up for the webinar. It's totally free, and we're going to be talking about the 3 secrets that any business owner needs to implement right now in order to gain margin in their business. So we're going to be talking about that here in just a couple weeks. So I'll post it in here. Make sure you share this video so other small business owners can be liberated from their chaos. And we'll see you right back here on Facebook Live with another great question from a small business owner and hopefully some insight on how to deal with that. You guys have a fantastic Thursday.